Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, DJ Hamilton, and welcome to the DJ Sports Show here on WRCR Radio. Here on this cloudy Saturday. Oh, man, this weather this past week was something, right, Jeff?
Oh, it's been a roller coaster of weather here.
The last 2 days, it was so nice. I went out for a walk since I work from home on Monday, Thursday, Friday. I said, lunchtime, let me go for a walk to get some vitamin D, get some sunshine, improve the morale. And that's what I love about this time of year. The spring usually gets warmer, and it just makes your mood overall better.
I'm a winter guy though, but I really do like the winter. But I don't like when it gets 70 degrees one day and then it's 30 degrees the next. I'm like, pick a temperature and stick to it. Come on, weather, just do that.
Exactly. It's gonna get hot soon. That's my type of that's my stilo.
Nice.
But in today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna talk some latest NFL free agency news. We're going to talk some college basketball. I'm going to have one of my friends come on, Zach, come on the show. We're going to talk top 5 college basketball women's players and men's players to watch ahead of March Madness. And then if we have time, I'm going to talk about the Shai versus Jokic MVP debate. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the show. First, I want to introduce my friend, Zack Shaw. He's a writer for Fanside for Survivor. He's an actor. He coached 2 years for the Shanghai Sharks overseas and was an intern for the Commanders. Zach, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, DJ. Thanks for having me on. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I know you're out in New York City. I know you're in the city that never sleeps.
Yeah, I think some people are sleeping in today, though, just because of that cloudy weather.
Yeah, I know how you feel, man. But yes, Zach, let's get right into it. So, first thing, NFL free agency, has been going crazy. The NFL is the one league that has free agency right before the draft. No other league does that. Some of the signings that I have in my notes, one thing I want to talk about was the New York Jets signing Justin Fields. And they signed him to a 2-year deal, $40 million, $30 million guaranteed. He went 4-2 with the Steelers in his 6 starts with them last season before ultimately getting replaced by Russell Wilson in Week 7. And one thing I was thinking about is, okay, the Jets signed this guy. What does this mean for the Jets? It's a franchise that basically hasn't made the playoffs since 2010. I was a preteen. Last time they made the playoffs. I'm 24, about to be 25 this year. They have not made the playoffs since I was like 10 years old. I'm like, man, this is a horrible franchise, horribly ran. And they thought, okay, Aaron Rodgers, they thought, okay, he could probably get us back to confidence. And then, unfortunately, his first year, he goes down with that torn Achilles in the first game of the season. And then the second year, he doesn't really, coming off a torn Achilles, you're 40, 41 years old. You're not going to be able to come back off a torn Achilles, especially at that age, very well and be as effective. And then you kind of saw that last season. Then you have a bad offensive line on top of that. He's not able to get the ball to his guys. The offense was really struggling. The defense was good at one point in the season. Then it just fell off. And then it was just a tumultuous season for them. And I'm like, okay, if Aaron Rodgers is gone, they released the $49 million off the dead cap. Yeah, okay, now you have no quarterback. And nobody really wants to go to that franchise. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, we don't have nobody, no free agent is going to want to be, this is not going to be a marquee destination for nobody. So who is the best person next we can get? Oh, let's get Justin Fields. This is a guy who was a former number 11 overall pick in 2021. There's been questions, about his, pocket mechanics with his throwing and his footwork. He threw 5 touchdowns last season, 1 interception. He had 5 rushing touchdowns. But for his career, he has a 45 to 31 touchdown interception ratio. So basically for every touchdown, he's almost thrown an interception for almost every touchdown, which is not very efficient, if you ask me. And then for Justin Fields, I just think about it like this. Okay, this is a chance for you to really redeem yourself. This is your last chance to really make a name for yourself as a potential starting quarterback in this league. We saw with the Chicago Bears. They thought you could be the franchise savior in 2021. It didn't work out. I know he wasn't a fortunate, terrible offensive line, but it wasn't erratic or anything like that. And now they said, okay, the Bears, they didn't believe in him no more. And they said, okay, we're going to trade you, and we're going to get Caleb Williams because they believed in Caleb Williams' talent more and his upside. Trade him to the Steelers. Okay, you're on the Steelers now. Oh, wait, Russell Wilson's here too. So there's a veteran hovering over your head who's a perennial Pro Bowler, who's won a Super Bowl championship, Pro Bowl, who's been All-Pro in the NFL, hovering over you. He's coming back from injury, and he's probably going to be the starter, even though you led the team to a 4-2 start. Even though we got to give credit to that defense, because that defense was the main part of why they were so good. But if I'm Justin Fields, I'm like, man, my confidence. I know it's probably hard to keep that confidence up, but if I'm him, I'm taking this okay, this is my last opportunity. I got it. This team took a chance on me. I could finally have the full opportunity with no veteran hovering over me to really get a chance. You're now with a new offensive coordinator, and what's his name, Tanner Engstrand, who was the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, that prolific Detroit Lions team that was number 1 in scoring this past season and as well in touchdowns per game. So you have that, and you have a new head coach, Aaron Glenn. Hopefully they put him in position to succeed. We'll see what they do. Their offensive line, it needs improvement, but I know he's a guy who's dangerous with his legs. Over the last 4 seasons since he's coming to NFL in 2021, he's second in rushing yards per game, only behind Lamar Jackson. So, yeah, I think this Justin Fields is a chance for him to really, truly try to – I'm not saying he's going to be a franchise quarterback, but this is a guy who I know he wants to show he can at least be a solid starting quarterback in this league.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Justin Fields I think he's going to be a bridge quarterback for the Jets. I think Aaron Glenn wants to see how much juice he can get out of Justin Fields and maximize his talent. And if Justin Fields can prove it, and then they'll just keep rolling with them.
Yeah.
If Jets are bad, then, next year there's a rich quarterback draft class, especially with Arch Manning at the helm.
Yeah, no, definitely. I know you had one you wanted to mention, too. What was one of the news you saw in free agency that stood out to you?
The big one is I'm a Commanders fan, and the Commanders traded for Laramie Tunsil and traded for Deebo Samuel. But Deebo Samuel is a guy I love, a chess piece for Cliff Kingsbury to use in the offense on jet sweeps, screens, and Deebo, teams got to play zone against the Commanders because of Jaden Daniels' running ability. And Deebo doesn't even have to, he's not the best route runner, but he doesn't need to separate that much. All he needs to do, run 3 yards, find the soft spot in the zone, Daniels throws it to him, and Deebo gets those yak yards. And then Laramie Tunsil is a fantastic pass blocker. He may not be the best run blocker, and there were some rumors that D'Amico Ryans wanted Laramie Tunsil to be a leader, and maybe Tunsil's not that guy. But there are many, many leaders in that locker room. You got Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz, Jaden Daniels, Sam Cosmi. I'm probably forgetting one more, Marshawn Lattimore. So Tunsil doesn't need to be that leader. He just needs to go out there, do his job, protect Jaden Daniels' blind side, and that's it. And you gave up a second, a third, and I think a seventh, and that's a bargain for a great left tackle in this league.
Yep, definitely. Having that second receiver, now you have Deebo Samuel's pair with Terry McLaurin. Oh, man, you guys are going to be scary. You guys are going to be scary, man. You guys were scary last season, and Terry McLaurin's a really good receiver, but he's not like on the level of A.J. Brown, things of that nature. But I think he's going to continue to improve, and you have Deebo to that mix. If Deebo can stay healthy, and then you guys continue to improve that offensive line to protect Jaden, man, you guys, Jaden had the best rookie season I've ever seen of a quarterback. He was 1 win away from Super Bowl. I know he eventually lost to the eventual Super Bowl champions and the Eagles, but his poise, composure in the pocket in big situations, it's special, man. It's special.
Oh, yeah. He's just so cool and calm. It's like it just rubs off on everyone. I'm watching the TV, and I'm like stressing out, too, because it's at the end of the game. But he's so calm that makes me calm. So it's just, his aura is unmatched.
Yeah. It's funny. He's probably like the SGA of the NFL.
Facts.
Aura. Facts. You know how when he beat the Celtics the other night, SGA, they had his logo showing in Boston. I'm like, that's savage. In Boston. He beat Boston on their floor, and they show his logo in Boston. That's crazy. Hey, that's the aura dripping, man. That's the aura dripping. The next thing I just want to quickly talk about is Joey Bosa to Buffalo. Signed a 1-year deal, $12.8 million. This is a guy, I know he's dealt with injuries over the last few years, limited to just 28 games over the last 3 seasons. But this is a guy who was second all-time in sacks for the Chargers in franchise history. This is a guy who's joined the Bills team now, who one of the struggles they had last season in the defensive front, they didn't have enough size, enough strength, enough physicality. That's why they lost, I think, to the Chiefs, because their defensive front four and their defensive linebackers, they didn't have enough size and guys who could really get after quarterback and put pressure on the offensive line. And now you had Joey Bosa, who when healthy is one of the best in the business at getting to the quarterback and applying pressure. And remember, they just extended Gregory Rousseau to an extension as well, and linebacker Terrell Bernard. So their defensive, man, that defense is going to be even better next year. They're going to have more size. And it just gave Josh Allen the biggest contract, guaranteed money in NFL history recently. And he well-deserved, too. Reigning league MVPs, broken records. And now, if I'm him, I'm feeling very comfortable. I know the Chiefs, I don't know how I feel like they're going to take a little bit of a downfall next season. The AFC's still going to be loaded. You have the Baltimore Ravens. You have so many teams. But I think the Bills should be a team that really, if Joey Bosa comes in, he's a veteran, has a lot of experience. He comes in with Gregory Rousseau, Terrell Bernard, and the rest of that defensive crew, and then see who else they can get this offseason. And in the draft, this team, Buffalo, should be a team you should watch out for potential potentially making the Super Bowl next season.
With Josh Allen, you always have a chance at the Super Bowl. And I believe Joey Bosa, he doesn't need to be healthy the whole season.
Exactly.
He could miss a few games.
Yeah.
All Joey Bosa needs to do is make timely plays. If Mahomes has the ball in a 2-minute drill, Joey Bosa just needs to make a timely sack for that contract to pay off. And it's what, $12 million? That's not even that much for a very good edge rusher in Joey Bosa.
Exactly.
And Keon Coleman, he should take a step next year. They still have that wide receiver Shakir, and then Josh Allen is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He's the MVP. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and I'm excited for the Bills. I do want them to get over the hump. It's been a long time coming. They need to do it, and it should happen next year.
No, definitely. And then, did you have another one you want to mention? Because I have one more before we get into basketball after we take a break.
I just wanted to go over the DK and Sam Darnold trades.
Oh, so DK. Oh, yeah, I was going to mention that trade.
You're going to mention it?
Oh, you can do it. You can do it.
Okay, I appreciate it. So DK Metcalf, he's going to a Pittsburgh Steelers team that doesn't really understand offense that much compared to other teams.
Yep.
And you already have a receiver who's very passionate, very outspoken in George Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see how that locker room is going to be. Mike Tomlin, he loves guys like that, so I think he'll do a good job of managing those relationships. But the problem is, who's the quarterback throwing the ball to them?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Who's the quarterback?
Yes, because Russell Wilson's a free agent right now. He's been visiting teams like the Browns and Giants. We don't know he's going to come back. And then there's rumors Aaron Rodgers might come there. But Aaron Rodgers, is keeping everybody in the dark. So we don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And there are no good quarterbacks in this draft besides Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. So it's like...
It's a weak quarterback draft this year. You're not going to find like last year. Last year was different.
Oh, last year was so
incredible.
Oh, my God.
Drake May, Jane Daniels. You had Caleb Williams. Michael Penix, I think, could be solid as well. You had a host of characters. J.J. McCarthy was out injured. Let's see what he could look like when he comes back healthy. Man, this quarterback draft class the last year, it could be one of the best ever.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Last year was a lottery hit.
Yeah. And then I also wanted to mention, like you said, the DK Metcalf trade. So he had a year left on this deal with the Seahawks, and then now has a 5-year, $150 million extension after signing a 4-year, $130 million extension. This is a guy who has had 3 straight seasons of 1,000 yards in his career at one point. He just missed it last year at like 992. He was like 8 yards off from having 4 of his career. And now you pair him with Pickens, like you said. That's going to be a dangerous wide receiver duo if they can get a quarterback that can throw them the ball and get the ball to them. And he's a huge wide receiver too. This guy's 6'4", 236. Like, this guy's built like a tank. He has a wide catch radius. He can go the go route. He can do the slant route. Everything. This guy, when he first came in, he was like all the rage. Everybody was like, "Oh, who's this guy? He's a different breed." I remember, I don't know if you saw his pre-draft workout. Everybody was saying, "Oh, this guy's shredded." Yeah, like DK Metcalf, man. I know he wanted to get out of Seattle because remember Seattle just lost Geno Smith. He went to the Raiders and stuff like that. So he was like, "Yeah, I need to get out here." I remember they released a Tyler Lockett too, one of their top wide receivers. So I was like, "Oh yeah, he need to get out of there." I don't blame him for wanting to ask for a trade and get out of there. But now he's in Pittsburgh. He hopefully gets a quarterback so he can be in a good football situation. Shout out to him too. He just got engaged to Normani. Russell Wilson put him on to her 3 years ago. Him and Sierra, and look now, he's happy. Hey,
he's living life, man.
Yeah, that's why they say connections are always great. But yeah, DK. Yeah, I think Pittsburgh, once they get a quarterback, man, and then you have that defense, which has always been good, it's gonna be exciting to see. But yeah, we're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. Coming back, we're going to talk some college basketball. Zach's going to stay with us. We're going to do the men's and women's basketball players, our top 5 players to watch ahead of March Madness. Listen to DJ Sports here on WRCR Radio, and we'll be right back. And yes, we are back here on the DJ Sports here on WRCR Radio. Back with our guy, Zach. Zach, you still with us?
Still here, DJ.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into some basketball. I know you love basketball, too. So, March Madness is around the corner. It's going to be Selection Sunday this coming Sunday. So, I want to get into our top 5 women's and men's basketball players to watch ahead of March Madness. And what we're going to do is alternate. So, I'll do my number 5, and you do your number 5, then I do my number 4, and we'll keep it fluid. Well, we'll see how this goes. Probably do the women's, and then probably take another quick break and do the men's, or we'll just go straight through. So, first, number 5 for me, I got Olivia Miles. For the women's, we're going to do ladies first, You always got to do ladies first. Woman, we're going to do Olivia Miles from Notre Dame. She's one of the star duos of that backcourt with Notre Dame with her and Hannah Hidalgo. She was coming off a torn ACL last season, which was devastating, but she came back with a vengeance. The first game this season, she had a 20-point triple-double. She also had a time this season where she had back-to-back triple-doubles against Loyola and Virginia this season. And she's the only player this season to average 16 plus points, 5 plus rebounds, 5 assists. She led the ACC in assists per game with 5.8 and 1.5 steals while shooting 45% from the field and 40% from three. So she's someone you got to watch out for coming in the March Madness tournament. And I think coming off torn ACL, she has really proven herself to be that player and what's made her special this season.
I completely agree. At number 4, I have Tania Latson out of FSU. She's a guard averaging the nation and scoring at 24.9 points per game. She's basically dropping 25 a game. She's basically vital in Florida State's tournament runs, and she's the whole offense. She's the motor. She's the heart and soul of that team. She's shifty. She's crafty. She's best going downhill and in transition. She's a beast on the defensive end, getting steals, getting the passing lanes, and just getting the ball out and running and going.
I like that one. My number 4 is the Hannah Hidalgo, Notre Dame. I can't leave her off, man. The reigning ACC Defensive Player of the Year and Player of the Year. She's like a thief in the night, I call her. Like, you know how they call Gary Payton the glove? Hey,
yeah.
Do you know her numbers, her steals per game? She's averaging over 3.5 steals per game. It is crazy. 3.7 to be exact when I was looking yesterday. And according to StatHead, she's one of 5 players in history since 1981-82, since they started recording data, to average at least 24 plus points, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals while shooting 45% from the field and 40% from three. And she's the only underclassman, freshman, or sophomore to achieve those numbers, and the only one to do that this century. Incredible. And I know they lost to Duke the other day, 61-56 in the ACC semifinal in the tournament, but she recorded 6 steals, 23 points, 3 assists. She's one of 4 players to record 6 steals in ACC tournament history in a game, and one of 2 to have 20-plus points and 6 steals in an ACC tournament game. So she's a player you got to watch out for. And honestly, if it wasn't for Juju Watkins, I think there'll be more hype on Hannah Hidalgo.
Absolutely. I got Flau'jae Johnson, and this one was tough for me because I also had Anisha Morrow up there as well for me. She was on the bubble, but if the game is on the line, I want the ball in Johnson's hands because she's looking for redemption. LSU lost to Iowa last year, and the year before, they had the taste of winning a championship. Mm-hmm. And when you have that taste and then you lose it again, it just makes you hungrier. So I expect Johnson to come out firing on all cylinders and look for LSU to make a deep run this year.
My number 3, Lauren Betts of UCLA. She was instrumental in the Bruins' 72-67 win over the number 1 USC Trojans to win the Big Ten Conference, their second in school history and the first since 2006. It was her 1,000th career point. She was unanimously named the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year after setting a single season record in blocks for UCLA, and she had the single season record in a single game in blocks earlier this season with 9 against Baylor on January 20th. She's one of 5 players in this century. Brittany Griner did it twice, Courtney Paris in 2006, Katie Matera in 2004 to average 19-plus points on 60% from the field with at least 2.5 blocks per game and 9 rebounds per game. Incredible. She's someone you got to watch. She is a Goliath on the court.
And number 3, I also have Hannah Hidalgo. How can you leave her off this list? Not only is she a thief in the night, but she's cool and calm. And if the defense is playing zone, she plays at her own pace and she directs traffic, finding the soft spot, getting her teammates easy shots at the bucket.
Exactly. Number 2, Paige Bueckers of UConn led them to an undefeated conference record, 18-0. She scored 20. She had 24, 8-3, 2-2 on 50% from the field, and their 70-50 blowout win over Creighton, and for the Big East championship, her third champion. The 5th consecutive title. She was named the most outstanding player of the year. She won Big East Player of the Year for the 3rd time this year. That ties a record. She's one of 4 players to do that in league history. Maya Moore, Shelly Pennefeather, Carrie Bascom are the others. It's her last chance to win an ultimate title to stake her claim as amongst the greatest in UConn Huskies women's basketball history.
I think we're reading each other's minds. I also have Paige Bueckers as number 2. People forget her freshman year. She was College Player of the Year.
Yep.
Too bad Arizona upset her freshman year. She's had 2 injury-riddled seasons. Yep. Caitlin Clark beat her last year. She's looking for redemption, and she wants to cement herself as one of UConn's greats and have 1 championship on her resume before she goes to the WNBA.
Exactly. And then to finish off the woman, number 1, I have Juju Watkins. I'm assuming you have her too, if I'm not mistaken. I know she had a bitter taste losing in the Big Ten title after beating the team twice earlier this season to the Bruins, but they got revenge on USC. She has historic performances this season against the Bruins. She also has taken the reins as the face of women's college basketball from Caitlin Clark, and she has done it with great dignity. And she is, since 1981-82, she's the only freshman or sophomore to average over 24 points per game, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks per game, and she's done it twice. Back-to-back seasons. Last year, freshman year, and then this year, sophomore year. Incredible player.
She's an incredible player. She's also number 1 on my list. She's a bucket getter. You throw her the ball, you tell her to get a bucket, she'll do it.
Yep.
She can score on all 3 levels. She's 6'2". She can see the court. She gets double-teamed because they have to. She'll kick it to a wide-open teammate. The only issue is, yes, there's a bitter taste in my mouth because she was 9 for 28, scored 29 points in that Big Ten championship.
Yep.
But then that's going to make her hungrier in the championship run for the March Madness.
Exactly.
And also, yeah.
Exactly. And now we'll get to the men. So number 5, I have Mark Sears. So he hit that back-breaking, game-winning floater on number 1 Auburn to beat them in the overtime. Here's the sounds from that game.
Throw one in. Last week, Meshack won it for Tennessee. Is someone doing it today?
Here goes.
Sears! He just did it!
Oh, are you serious?
Mark Sears on the road with the winner for Alabama, and they get the revenge they wanted. Crimson Cranes in front of the jungle.
What a difference a week makes. What a difference a week makes.
Man, we love Dick Vitale. Oh. I love how he just over-dramatizes it just to make it more theater. But yeah, Mark Sears, man, this is a guy who set the single-season record in scoring last year in Alabama history. And he came back this year second SEC in scoring, and he's the top scoring team in the nation. He scored 20-plus points over 18 times this year and 30-plus 3 times. This guy's a bucket getter. One-on-one, it's going to be hard to stop him. So he's number 5 for me from Alabama.
At number 5, I got Caleb Love out of Arizona, averaging 17.9 points and almost 4 assists per game. He's a senior, fifth-year senior, looking to make a deep run with Arizona. Watch out for him. He's a dark horse.
Yep. Number 4, I got Braden Smith from Purdue. He led the Big Ten in assists per game. He's the quintessential point guard. Not like the point guards you see nowadays, but like the 90s, like the John Stocktons. He likes to make his teammates better. He was second overall in the nation in assists per game. This is a guy also, Big Ten Player of the Year. He's not just an assist guy, though. He can get you buckets. He's the only player in college basketball this season to average over 16-plus points per game, 8-plus assists, and 2 steals per game, while shooting better than 35% from 3. He also was one of 10 Boilermakers to record 30-plus points and shoot at least 50% from the field and 40% from 3 in a single game. He is also one of 3 Boilermakers, Carson Edwards in 2019 and Eton Moore in 2011, to do it more than once.
I like Wade Taylor, the 4th out of Texas A&M. I know the Aggies are a football school, but he's coming out for blood. 15.7 points per game, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. He's not the best, most efficient player on the floor, but he's crafty and he can find a way to get buckets.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to go a little quicker here. So number 3, we got Cam Jones-Marquette. He's been just as good, if not better, this season. He is averaging a career-best 19.2 points per game. He's been a pickpocket, averaging 1.4 steals per game. And he's basically almost tripled his assists per game. He's averaging 6. He averaged 2.4 last year, almost tripled it. He's improved as a distributor, making his teammates better. And I expect him to be a first-round draft pick this season.
At number 3, I got R.J. Davis. His best ability is to get out transition and to create for others. 21 and 5 per game.
Yeah, R.J. Davis, he's filthy, yeah. Number 2, I got John Broome from Auburn. At one point, he looked at the National Player of the Year, and then he had injuries. He kind of went a little bit cold. But he has still led the SEC in rebounds and blocks. He is the only player in college basketball this season to average over 18-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 2 blocks per game, while shooting 50% or better from the field.
At number 2, I got Hunter Dickinson. This guy is a monster on the inside. He reminds me of Zach Edey, and it's kind of weird. He plays at his own pace. Back to the basket, very nice soft touch for a left-handed player. Watch out for Kansas.
At number 1, man, I know he just hurt his ankle the other day, but I'm praying that he could come back to the March Madness tournament in time. Cooper Flagg, man, from Duke, the anointed number 1 pick. He has been phenomenon. He has lived up to all the hype and expectations we had for him coming into the season. And he has been everything we could ever dreamed of. Since 1980-81, he's the only freshman ever since 1981 to average over 19-plus points, 7-plus rebounds, 4-plus assists, a block, and a steal while shooting at least 45% from the field and 35% from 3. He is a phenom, and this is the reason why he's a National Player of the Year favorite.
Cooper Flagg, yes, best player, leads Duke in all major statistical categories for the number 1 team in college basketball right now. March Madness and the nation needs him to be healthy so Duke can make a big push to win a championship.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's our list, top 5 for the women's and men's basketball players to watch ahead of March Madness. Zach, tell people where they can find your work before you go.
Everyone can find me on Instagram at ZShaw10 if you want to check me out there.
Oh, you don't want to tell them about your fan-sided articles?
I was just going to promote Instagram. You can check my work out on Surviving Tribal, where I write anything Survivor-related. And hopefully you'll see me on the big screen one day, too.
Yeah,
we'll see about that.
My guy's an actor, man. My guy's going to win an Oscar one day. Dream big, man.
I dream big, always.
Zach,
thank you, DJ, for having me on, man.
Oh, yeah. Pleasure to have you on, man. Thank you for coming on. But, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, DJ Hamilton. We got like 2 minutes left, so quickly I'm going to talk some MVP. Shai and Jokic been MVP debate this season. Let's get into this quickly. So these two are considered the favorites. Both teams recently split games against each other. Shai dropped 41 game, and Jokic did his thing. Shai is on pace to be the first guard to average over 30 points per game and shoot 50% from the field for 3 consecutive seasons. Jordan's the only one to do that. And he's the only guard, other than Jordan, to have 40-plus 30-point games for 3 consecutive years. Just to let you guys know. Jokic had 30-20-20 game. I call him the best offensive center in NBA history. He's doing incredible things, averaging a triple-double, and he's top 3 in points, rebounds, and assists in NBA. Just a thought on who you think should win MVP. It's going to be a toss-up. We'll get into more of it another time when we have more time, but I want to know who you guys think is MVP. Who do you vote as MVP? OKC has the best record in the Western Conference. They're way ahead in the loss column for the Nuggets. And Shai has been basically unstoppable this season, but then Jokic is doing things never done and seen from a center in NBA history. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Who's the NBA MVP if you had to vote today? I'm your host, DJ Hamilton, DJ Sports, here on WRCR Radio, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Have a good one, everybody.